Jamaica's real estate industry has exploded over the past 5 years. And with so many players in the industry, it's important to know what and who to do business with before you buy or sell property. So we've teamed up with the Real Estate Board to give you that information. So today we'll be speaking with Principal of the Real Estate Training Institute, RETI, Dr. Tina Beale. Hi, Tina.
Hi, Kalilah. How are you?
I am great, but not as good as you, because you are in one of the hottest industries right now, which is real estate, right?
Yeah, it is. It is.
It feels like everybody wants a slice of the real estate pie in some way or the other, whether you want to be a salesperson or you want to be, selling real estate, investing in real estate.
It is. I mean, real estate has over many years have been a strong performer for our economy. And of course, a lot of persons want to own a piece of the rock. Locally, internationally, Jamaica is a brand. And so as a result of that, there's this gravitational pull towards real estate. So yeah, definitely, real estate is the industry to be in.
And like I was saying, a lot of people want to be in it and they feel like, this may be a completely wrong perception, they feel like anybody can do it. Anybody can get into it.
It's like being wrong perception.
It's like being a car salesman. Nothing wrong with car salesman, but you don't need to be licensed. You don't need to be. You can just jump in and get into it. Tell us. All right, correct that perception for us. What do we need to do?
Okay, so real estate, you have different aspects of real estate business. Firstly, it does require you to use different types of skill sets. So you have real estate sales, which focuses on property rentals, property sales. We also have real estate auctions. So we have auctioneering, we have property appraisals, we have property management. It requires some aspects. So for example, real estate sales, leases and rentals, it does require tacit knowledge. And that's because you really need to know how to be a strong communicator and a good negotiator in order to get those transactions closed so that you can make your commission as a realtor or a real estate sales agent. No, in terms of appraisals would require you to have mathematical skill sets, financial and accounting knowledge, property management as well. It may be argued that's a combination of both. You do need to have good knowledge though of maintenance, building services. You do need to have some accounting background as well. You need to know law. So it's like a melting pot of different disciplines, different skill sets. So it's not something that anybody should do. And as you alluded to, you have to be licensed in order to practice. So in Jamaica, the regulatory authority is the Real Estate Board. And under our principal legislation, that's the Real Estate Dealers and Developers Act, you are required to be licensed either as a real estate salesman or a real estate dealer to conduct real estate business. As the name real estate salesman suggests, you're basically being licensed to conduct real estate sales, lease transactions, and rental transactions. As a dealer, though, you can be licensed in all areas of real estate business. So you can do sales, leases, and rentals. You can do auctioneering, you can do property management, and you can do appraisals.
I was going to ask you what the difference is. Okay, thanks for clarifying.
And then as a dealer too, there's another distinction as well that's important to note. So as a real estate dealer, what you're essentially doing is that you are leading and managing the real estate business, whereas the real estate salesman or sales agent, they basically work under the dealer.
Okay. Why is it important for dealers and salespeople to be both licensed and properly trained? And does the license come with the training?
Very good questions. So, initially, what spurred the development of the Real Estate Board was the fact that there was a need in the 1980s to protect the interests of purchasers. So, persons need to be licensed so that the government can ensure that individuals who are engaging in real estate transactions aren't being ripped off, simply put. And so you have persons with the necessary skill sets to ensure that those transactions are conducted in an orderly manner and in a way that is fair and transparent. Now, In terms of doing our courses at the Real Estate Board and Real Estate Training Institute, when you successfully complete the pre-licensing salesman course, you are automatically eligible to apply to be registered as a real estate salesman slash real estate agent. Now, upon doing the real estate dealers course, upon successful completion of that, you then have to apply to be attached, which is a structured apprenticeship in the office of a real estate dealer for at least a year. And upon completing that attachment period, you're then required to do an oral examination. Yeah.
Now, earlier when I introduced you and introduced the topic, I said real estate is one of the hottest industries right now. But from your vantage point, what is the overview or the outlook for the industry? Because some people do say that it's oversaturated.
Yeah, so we do hear that comment quite a bit. But the truth is that we have untapped areas of real estate that persons don't really tend to focus on. And I mean, even with the advent of technology and how I foresee that something like artificial intelligence can change the scope and dynamic of how it is that you actually conduct and practice real estate business, there is still room for other persons to come in. And I mean, one of the things with technology is that the innovation that comes with it, how it is that you would normally or traditionally conceptualize doing a transaction with added technology or new technology, it therefore means that there are new opportunities that can emerge that weren't foreseen 5 years ago or even currently today. So whilst it is you do have, and we need to make a distinction between the number of persons who are coming to do courses and the number of persons who are actually out there practicing. You might say that we have good number of students doing our pre-licensing courses, but the truth is that the number of persons who actually go into practice is notably less. One of the reasons for that is because after it is somebody, sometimes you have persons who come to do our courses just to have knowledge, not necessarily to get a license. Some persons do it as a backup plan. Some persons do it as a means if it is in the future they want to be licensed, or if it is that they want to open their own real estate business in the future. When they actually go and start practicing, they'll realize that it's hard work. And not unless it is that you really have a passion for doing real estate and want to thrive and build wealth and build your future and your career plans around real estate, then chances are you're not going to be as successful as others. So, yes, persons may be of the view that the market is saturated, but with how the world is evolving, especially with artificial intelligence, especially with the fact that you have things like automated valuation modeling that's coming on stream, you also have other things too, for example, prop tech and fintech that's going to change how it is that persons transact and engage in real estate business. In Jamaica, it might take some time for us to see some of those things, being played out in the local market space. But with advancement in technology, we're going to see that persons are seeing new ways and opportunities on how to engage in real estate. So I don't think that is something that persons need to be concerned about in terms of feeling like the market is going to be saturated.
So, what are some of the benefits of having a career in real estate?
All right, so one that comes readily to mind is flexibility. Because when it is that, for example, you're a realtor or you are a real estate agent, you're basically working on your own time. A lot of persons, they're able to have other jobs while doing their real estate business. If it is that you're more someone who likes to do managerial work or you like to lead or focus on things such as organizational change, you can do that within the context of real estate, more so as a real estate dealer. Um, it provides opportunities as well for mentoring and coaching. Um, Another thing too with real estate is that because of the value of properties in Jamaica, what you tend to find is that when you conduct real estate business transactions, the commission is something that's lucrative and good to most persons. So if it is you are able to have a grasp of the market or the segment of the market that you're specializing in, And if it is, you are a good communicator, strong negotiator, then the probability of you doing well in the industry is quite high. Once it is you're willing to put in the work, you will be
Good.
successful.
Good, good, good. All right. So let's talk about the Real Estate Training Institute itself, your
Right.
organization. Like, how did this come about? How long have you guys been around?
All right. So RETI was first established in February 2016. Um, and at that point in time, um, there were notable changes in the real estate industry at that point in time. You may also recall that it was just after that that you'd have seen, for example, in the KMA area, where you're seeing an increase in density, more apartments, more townhouses, etc. So it therefore mean that the demand for real estate boomed, right? At that point in time. So RETI was there. We had our pre-licensing courses, the real estate salesman course that it's usually referred to as well as the real estate dealers course. Now, since that time, our numbers thankfully have increased steadily. Um, Even when persons thought that as a result of COVID-19, that the real estate market would have hit a recession,
It
we
did
still,
not.
exactly, and we still had a good number of persons coming forward to do our courses. Of course, subsequent to COVID, our numbers would have increased, continually increased steadily. And what we have found is that over the years, especially for our pre-licensing dealers course, we had to revamp how it is that we would offer this course based on what our clients wanted and practitioners in the industry what they felt was needed. Now, one of the things that we basically champion and pride ourselves in at RETI is the fact that we ensure that our courses are aligned to what is happening in the industry. And I mean, we're able to do this because we have the support of other departments in the real estate board where professional standards and targets are set. And so, with us having that information, we are well equipped and able to ensure that persons who are going out or who have successfully completed our courses, that they're well equipped to function in the real estate market as soon as they have their real estate license. Um, we also try to ensure that, whilst it is that we want to ensure that our course is contextually relevant and driven by what's happening here in Jamaica, it's very important for us to have a global perspective as well. And so we do align our training to what's happening internationally. So many of our, for example, our real estate agents, our realtors, and our realtor associates, the salesmen and the dealers, many of them are members of the Realtors Association of Jamaica. Many persons might not know that the Realtors Association of Jamaica is aligned to the National Association of Realtors. So the National Association of Realtors comes from North America, which basically governs the practices of realtors. And so by what we do is we work closely with professional bodies like the Realtors Association of Jamaica to ensure that what it is that we are providing is aligned to the NAR standards. We also ensure that what it is that we're doing, especially in terms of appraisals and property management and auctioneering, that is aligned to the standards of the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors coming out of the UK.
So is it a private organization? Is it public? Like, who runs it? The institute?
So RETI is the training arm of the Real Estate Board and Commission of Strata Corporation. So it's fully public.
Okay. Now, how do you ensure that your programs remain aligned with what the needs are, best practices, and so on?
Okay. So at the first level, we look at the needs of our students. We look at the needs of practitioners. In any course, it's staple and standard for you to have module evaluation feedback from your students, right? So that's the first thing. However, when we are developing curricula, we do get feedback from practitioners. We get feedback from our lecturers. We get feedback from individuals who are experts in education. And what we do is we try to ensure that what it is that we develop it matches the necessary criteria that needs to be adhered to. Um, when it is that any change with respect to even technical standards that are being developed, we ensure that we have stakeholder involvement in these processes. And stakeholders, again, are industry practitioners, other educational institutions in Jamaica, other persons who are experts in education as well, to ensure that what we do is something that is diverse. It tries to incorporate the various views, but of course, we have to do a balance between those views as well as what it is our regulations and our laws allow us to do.
Mm-hmm.
So we work with these stakeholders to come to a balance.
Now, let's say I'm in the market, either as a buyer or a seller. How can I check that the real estate agent I'm supposed to be working with is actually trained?
Okay, so if the person is actually trained, what you need to do, the person can't get a license unless they have been trained.
Okay.
So you can check the real estate board's website to first confirm that this person is licensed to carry out real estate business in Jamaica. We also issue an identification card to licensees of the board. So individuals can basically ask these persons for their identification card. We call it the pocket ID that we provide to them from the real estate board. They can come to our offices as well. We can confirm because we issue the licenses. We have information in terms of the dates of registration for each person. And of course, the register of persons who can practice in Jamaica is publicly available on our website as well. So it's as simple as entering the person's name, even, and you'd see like their picture, when it is that they were licensed, what area it is that they're licensed to practice in, if it is that they're a salesman, who is a dealer that they're operating under. So
Right.
it's
So
all
we've been
there.
talking about RETI, the Real Estate Training Institute, and you might be wondering, well, what courses does RETI offer and how can I enroll?
All right, so we have our pre-licensing salesman course that's offered 3 times in each financial year. So we have a course that starts each year in July. We have another that starts in January, and we have another that starts in March. Now, the July and the January courses, these are held online during the week, the work week, in the evenings. Um, Generally between 5:30 and 8. Sometimes between 6
Is it
and
online
9.
or
It's
face to
online,
face?
fully online.
Online, great.
The March course though is offered on Saturdays and Sundays for persons who aren't able to do it during the work week. And that too is also fully online. We have the pre-licensing dealers course, which is offered once per year, but that course covers far more specialization. So it covers sales, leases, rentals, auctioneering, and property management. Now, when you do the pre-licensing dealers course, you are being taught real estate within the context of you leading people and managing a real estate business. So if you want us to get into the nitty-gritty of the types of modules, you have mandatory modules that irrespective of what specialization you're going to be doing, you must do. So it's very important for persons to be trained in leadership and organizational behavior.
So is this a full-time course or part-time?
Part-time as well. So the duration, it varies depending on the specialization. The duration can be between 1 year and a year and a half, and it's part-time. Online as well, mostly online because we have some workshops that persons do come in face to face. So leadership and organizational behavior, we look into sustainability in real estate. Communication and negotiation, of course, is another module. Money laundering, detecting and deterring money laundering, because we have to adhere to the requirements of the Proceeds of Crime Act and the
Right,
Terrorism
right.
Prevention Act as well, as real estate practitioners. Persons also have to do business registration and law. Persons have to know the taxation requirements of running a business in Jamaica, and data privacy. Data protection and data privacy is also a mandatory module.
So it's quite a bit.
Yeah. And then in terms of the specializations now, if you're focusing on sales, leases and rentals, so you're going to be doing sales coaching, commercial real estate, housing market analysis, and real estate auctions in theory and practice. If your specialization is in property management, you're looking at land administration, property maintenance and services, procurement and tendering, contract administration, because you do have suppliers that you need to administer and manage as a property manager. And we do property asset management as well.
So that's all for the pre-licensing
For
salesman
the
course
dealers, that's
or
for
the
the dealers
dealers
course.
course.
For the salesman, no, the duration tends to be 2 months. If it's a weekend course, it goes up to 3 months. And the modules that they cover, so they do urban and regional planning, they do land law, business law, contract law, real estate sales agency, of course. They do a bit of property appraisals, just an introduction. They also have to know property measurements and inspection. And they also have to take into consideration as well proceeds of crime act. So they do an introduction to the POCA and the Terrorism Prevention Act.
How much do these courses cost?
So the salesman course, $77,000. For the pre-licensing dealers course, if you're doing the sales specialization, you're going to be paying $300,000. If you're a Jamaican, it's slightly higher if you're from an overseas jurisdiction. So you pay just $310,000. If you're doing property management, though, you're paying $345,000.
Okay, reasonable for a career in
Yes,
real estate.
Yeah.
You think when you equate it to getting a degree, for example.
Yeah, you'd pay a lot more money.
Exactly, exactly. But speaking of education, though, so some people might think that once you get your certification and your license, you're good to go forever. No, you need to also have continuing professional development.
Very important. Very important. Real estate is a dynamic market, so the landscape changes continuously. So the board does require that you do continuing professional development hours. You are required to do 20 hours every 2 years. We provide the CPD training. There's also an opportunity for persons, other CPD providers or institutions that would want to offer CPDs that are of relevance to or licensees, that they can apply to us to have it recognized or approved by the real estate board. And once it is that they are approved, then those CPD credits will be inured to the licensees.
So what are the current mandatory CPD courses?
So you have to, so they're all the law-related courses. So it's the Real Estate Dealers and Developers Act, Terrorism Prevention Act. You are looking at Proceeds of Crime Act. There's also the Go AML 2, which looks at how it is that dealers would do their filing and utilize the Go AML platform to file any kind of suspicious activity.
And these are offered by RETI as well?
Yeah, these are all offered by Real Estate Training Institute, yes.
Okay.
And they're all self-paced. They're online. So you basically just pay online. You're enrolled on our LMS, and you do your courses at your leisure. We do require, though, that you complete within 90 days of you being enrolled on the platform. So that's essentially
So
it.
you can take your time, but not too much time.
Right.
Not more than 90 days.
Not more than 90 days. And I mean, it's 3 months. 3 months should be okay for you to do us. And our CPDs generally is about an hour long. So it's not too long for you. You do get a little quiz, like 10 questions. We do sometimes provide codes through the CPDs to ensure that you're attentive while you're doing it. And upon completion, you immediately get your certificate.
Yeah. So finally, what advice would you give to someone thinking of pursuing a career in real estate?
What I would say is that generally, especially from Jamaica, we're told rather to get a traditional profession. I would tell any young person no, that the world is their oyster. They need to come into a field that's dynamic. One, personally, it keeps you on your toes, so it makes you a better person. But outside of that, it helps to increase your earning potential. It therefore means that you would have to apply yourself and put in the work. But if it is that you're somebody who wants to innovate, if it is that you want to make good money, And if it is that you want to be doing something that helps individuals to feel good, to know that they would have purchased their home, to know that they're able to afford the building to start their business, then real estate is the right profession for you. And the truth is that real estate is the most expensive capital expenditure that persons will take on in their life. And if you want to be the person who helps persons to make that decision and come to something that is best for them, then real estate is the career path for you.
Okay, thanks, Tina.
You're welcome, Kalilah.
Thanks to Principal of the Real Estate Training Institute, Dr. Tina Beale, for breaking it all down for us. And thanks to you for watching. All the best on your journey in real estate. Now, if you want more information on the Real Estate Training Institute, RETI, or the Real Estate Board, REB, check out the links in the description. I'm Kalilah Reynolds. Until next time.